All right, Shalom Israel, giving all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakah Kadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops, great millstone, my salutations to the brothers teaching word for the hopeful elect, soon to be the elect, most high will. Sooner than later, he's showing the time for the elect's sake. The elect work is being done, and to the contrite spirits, hopeful extended elect returning to the most high blessings. Men, women, and children, and just going to get a quick video. I kind of done a video similar to this before, and I've said I looked up origin of the word Papa comes from Papas or Bishop, Pope, Greek Papas, father, an origin, a nursery word. Now, and one of those keywords is bishop, and I looked it up in the blue letter bishop, and it's one of the words is overseer. Get the
Strong's G, 1984, Episcope.
Episcope. Inspection overseer, presiding officers of a Christian church, the office of an elder. So I'll let you know that the man is the head, because, mama would be pretty much the opposite, which is the female, the mother. Now I looked up in Google also, let's see, the origin of mama. It says the word mama as a term for mother likely originates from early childhood Babylon and is remarkably consistent across many languages. Now Babylon is, means basically Babylon, which basically means confusion. But really, it's not really confusion. These are the natural, well, it says babies naturally produce sounds like ma and pa, which are relatively easy to articulate. Parents in turn often interpret these sounds as attempts to name them, leading to the association of mama with mothers and papa with fathers. The Latin word mama meaning breast, because it's a nurturer. The woman nurtures. That's why she have breasts. That's her job, is to nurture. It also related and may have influenced the development of the word. See, they say may have, but it's not Babylon at all, not confusion at all. Because if you go to the Paleo, these natural words, the characters, Paleo Hebrew, is that what mostly babies pronounce when they're born, Now, here go. You have Abaga Dahawazakataya Kalamana Sai Halamana Sa I Pa Taza Kwara Shata. Now you have Ba, which is how they say bottle, Baba. Those are the Hebrew characters. Dada for father. See, they say Dada and Papa, which means, both means, father for them, as they pronounce it. But the Hebrew characters, it's like, Amagadaha. And people, even with that word ha, people say ha ha, that, as a relating to laughter, but that's Hebrew characters too. Not saying ha means laughter, but I'm just saying the pronunciation itself. We're just naturally, Most High said the natural first and then the spirit. So we naturally, that's the original language. That's the one language that was before the confusion of languages. At the Tower of Babel, uh, la la, it's, they take as laughter, but of course the character itself by itself means something else. Here go ma, which is another. So mama. Also, baby say nana. Here go the pa, papa. So they say ya too, but I forget what they, so they say it's babbling, but it's not, it's a form of naturally speaking Hebrew. Now, this is not a breakdown, but and we know what this means. And I looked up the out of the babes meaning. Matthew 21:16, and he said unto him, Hearest thou what these say? And Yahweh Shai said unto them, Yea, have ye never heard out of the mouth of babes and sucklings thou hast perfected praise? So, but that's really meaning, but it's that the Most High naturally puts it in our mouths, even us little babies and infants, to speak, the paleo, forms of the characters of the paleo. But this is talking about, I looked it up, out of the mouths of babes. I looked up babes.
Strong's G 3516. Napios. Napios.
Could be infant, little child, not of age, childish, unskilled. So you could be a grown man and be unskilled in the word, and you have to, that's why Yahweh Shai said you have to be born again, not entering your mother's womb the second time, but, you're new to the truth. You're unskilled at it. Not of age. I think it was, who was it, Jeremiah? It says, say not that I am a child, and the Most High puts it in our mouth what to speak, So it's a such thing as growing with the truth, learning the truth as a babe, growing in the truth, even no matter what age you are. But I just wanted to mention that because, we're straight from the spirit world as babes born in the earth, in this matrix, out of the matrix of woman's womb, onto the earth, and we naturally speak Hebrew. It's not Babylon, it's not babbling. So that's something that they don't really know, So he perfects his praise out of the mouths of babes. What does that say?
Strong's G 3516. Napios. Napios.
Napios. So a lot of people don't even understand that it's in the spirit. These things originate in the spirit. And the Most High said that. He said, I formed you in the womb. Before you came forth of your mother's womb, I knew thee. So what is the language Hebrew? What did Yahweh Shai speak Hebrew? And our people, the original, and you could you could see that the world was of one language before. No, these people think like, like that damn, what you call it, that damn lie about us coming from animals or monkeys or whatever, or, you know, no knowledge and we just, we're uh, hunchbacks, mumbling hunchbacks, and we developed into beings of learning things over time. That's bullshit, man. We come from the Most High. We come from the power, so you ain't gonna be born as a dumbass. Genesis 11:1. If you come from a power such as Genesis 11:1, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech, man. Let's see what they say. If they tell you what the one language is, but that was Paleo Hebrew. One means Akkad. In Hebrew, let me see. They say language. Speech. Oh, it's funny they have border. Like you can cross another land and the border, and after the different languages came about, you can go into another land and somebody speak a whole different language. That's what it means by tongues. In the scriptures also, when talking in tongues, different tongues, not that bullshit stuff that you learn from church, but language lip. So that's a pie. But that's Paleo Hebrew, the Lashawan Kodash, which means holy tongue. So it's just something that is somewhat fun to know or to think about. The bar, speaking, utterance, word. But anyway, yeah, these are and people don't understand. We naturally, Most High instilled in us natural things that relate to our heritage and to what these things are known upon the earth, and they think this English BS. They'll correct a man according to English, but they don't even know this is not the real language and this is not the original tongue. And they say it's known that English is the most confusing language in the world. Because they got words that are the same that they mean totally different things and different pronunciation. But everything was simple and more understanding back then. This world grew in confusion, and one of the main reasons why is this so-called white man. And Most High, of course, he confounded the languages because they were doing wicked, building the Tower of Babel, just like they are now. Building trying to build a one world order. And I told you too that in these the languages there are codes. And there's codes and languages within different tongues and laws. Just like like I said, when when I looked up, all these words that fall under the lawyers and doctors it's words that they would never use in the common English language. You know, so a lot of those words are made up. You know, even the names of these medicines are made up and shit. Like I've never, man, you go to the medical book, I've never seen so many names under medicine in my life. You know, and it's simple. You know, when you think about it, the Most High, it's either you sick or not. You know, of course they got certain diseases, palsy and all that, and and really we're not supposed to have diseases. It's not supposed to be a thing. We're supposed to be immortal, and we lived longer back then. So the world has worsened, the language have worsened, the confusion have worsened. Everything has gotten worse. But going back to the natural ways and going back to that's why most Yahweh Shai said, you gotta humble yourself in this truth. You gotta become a baby again. Your language, this language is not a real language. That's why the apostles tell you to learn Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. You know, these things that you were taught in America is not your the original understanding of things. Just like love, they say love is like it's emotional feeling that you get, this fuzzy feeling that you get in your heart. They don't even know what heart means. It means your mind. It doesn't mean there's blood organ that pumps blood in your body. It means your mind. Same thing with love. Love is doing the commandments of the Most High. So as we, are born, we're more closer to this, of course, the spirit world. We just came from the spirit world. So it identifies us with even, what we speak as babes, our pronunciation, things that, we utter as babes. But like we say, the more you stay in this matrix, the further you get away from the spirit and into, these physical dynamics to where you forget and you become separate from the natural way of doing things, the origin of things, and the original meaning of things. And that's why a lot of these people don't understand. Most High is not giving them the mysteries because they're not close to him. He's not giving them parables and dark sayings. They're not close to him. They haven't humbled themselves. Like, the Most High is not dealing with these Christians, not dealing with vocab because they're not humble. Not dealing with a lot of these camps, other Israelites camps, because they're not humble, man. But anyway, they haven't humbled themselves as babes. What did it say? Unless you be as one of these little children, Let me get that scripture right quick. And like I said, you could be a grown man. You come into the truth and you be like, oh shit, man, I gotta learn my true language. I gotta learn what the truth is. I don't know nothing. I'm I'm like a little child, Mm. I think it's in Matthew. Matthew 19 and 14, it says, but Yahweh Shai said, suffer little children and forbid them not to come into me, for of such is the kingdom of heaven. Mm-hmm. It says Matthew 18 and 3, and said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter the kingdom of heaven, man. So that's another way of saying to be humble too. Like, and then you grow, and you learn. And it really is crazy because, we even when you grow and you learn, you realize that, you become young and become more like unto a child, in the spirit of things, So, like I said, they're straight from the spirit world. They're closer to the Most High as the way of the natural things that we forgot, that were, like I said, more simple. That men have become prideful because he have gained knowledge and lived in the world, and grew into himself to where now he knows it all. You know, I would try to say you gotta be born again. You know, and it reminds you of these things. Like, man, as a child, it was simple. Things were I could learn. I can gather more. I can you know you were closer to what do you call it? You didn't know a lot of things to get yourself caught up in a lot of sin and evil activities. You were just, your thing was just feeling free to, do certain things, or just, having as much as fun as you can. Not saying that this truth is all about fun, but I'm saying, there was a certain freedom of mind, to learn and to try to know what things are. But of course, you got to be guided and taught, and that's up for by an overseer. And usually, I mean, the overseer should be the father, the bishop, to teach you. But we don't have fathers anymore. I mean, in this world, so we weren't taught the proper things. Now we do through the ministry, through the men of the ministry, bishops, in the ministry, fathers. Uh, uh, as elders as fathers, so they can really teach and guide the right way. You know, it says, "How can a man learn lest he be taught, or know lest he be taught?" Paraphrasing. Anyway, I didn't want to prolong this, but hopefully it was edifying. Shalom.